Hello everyone. I'm going to have a series of videos regarding permanent resident applications for protected persons, convention refugee. Please check it out for my upcoming videos. So in this video today, I will guide you on how to create an online application for PR when you receive the notice of decision saying that you are now protected persons, alright? And the online account will be permanent resident portal, and I have an account created already. For the friends who has not created an account, then please watch my other videos regarding this. I put the link in the description below. So let's assume that I have my PR portal here already with my username and the password. I click on sign in. Okay, so here's mine. Click on create new application. Okay, and the program under which you are applying, I select PR, including refugee resettlement. And then the programs under which that I am applying, that is for refugee. Okay, but in here you can see a lot of programs like economic, family, and others as well. However, for today's purpose, I will select on refugee. Okay, and even under the program, that refugee program, I need to select the category. All right, so there are few categories in here, but I will choose in Canada protected persons because I just received the notice of decision. Okay, in here. And then after that, I customize my application title. For example, I put it as PR as protected person for John Smith. And then after that, I click on continue. Okay. Okay, so now I will need to create my profile. The first one is the language, English, family name, Smith, name, John, date of birth, I made it up, alright? And then the mailing address. Okay, that is for you done. And then now the spouse, partners, or dependents profiles. Okay, so if you have wife and children, then you need to add dependents in here. If you are by yourself, then no need to worry that. And then just click on save and continue. But in today, I will add the dependents. Like let's say if you have a wife and have one child, for example. Okay, as spouse, the first one is the dependent accompany you. Yes, wife, like spouse. And then save. Okay. And then the child. Peter Smith, for example. Okay, so in here you can see the child, the spouse, and child. And then after that, you save and continue. Okay, and here you go, guys. As you can see here, application details, the category that is in Canada, protected person, the custom application title that is PR for John Smith, and then the status is initiated. Okay, and on that side, on the left side of the screen, you can see application forms with all the forms in here. Okay, and in the detail, we have the application form, including the digital forms in Canada protected person. And you can see here, digital form, it means that you can fill out the form right away in the portal. And down here a little bit, that is a PDF forms. You must download, complete, electronically sign, and upload all the forms that you need for your application. And it said that do not print and scan up any of these forms. So in here there are forms IMM in here, and then the other form that is IMM, the document checklist. Okay, so all you need to do is download the form, fill it out, sign electronically, and then upload it in here. Okay, and for this form, the schedule 14, you will need to do that for every person who's over 18. Okay, for example, in this case, the applicant is John Smith. Okay, and then he will need to fill that schedule 14, and then another one that is his wife, Laura Smith, and then she will need to complete her own. Okay, so her different form. Okay, so in here, for example, only, and then after that we can delete it, so that later on we can show you of how to fill out this form. Okay, and then the next one is the document checklist. IML 5286. You download the form and then check and then upload in here. All right. Now, to the additional application forms, there is a drop-down arrow in here. You can click on that and see which one applies to your program, and then you fill it out and then upload it. Okay. But in here, there's nothing regarding to protected person, but there is a form named use of a representative. If you use a representative, then you click in here, download the form, fill it out, sign, and then upload in here. Okay. And the next important part, that is supporting documents. As you can see in here, the instructions of document labeling, you have to use a naming convention to label your documents. Last name, first name, and document type. All right. And then the photos in here, you have to upload both the front photos and the back of the photo. If for some reason that the front and the back of the photo is not in one file, then you have to separate the file. The first one is the photo with the front page. You can upload in here, for example. Okay, that is the Smith John front photo. And then in the additional supporting document, you can upload the back of the photo. The back, it needs to have your name, your date of birth, and the photo store information, and including the date that you took the photo. Okay. In the other here. Okay, and then you upload Smith John back photo. You upload in here. Okay. And you do the same thing with his wife and the son. Front photo and at the back of the photo. Okay. Smith Laura at the back. And then the photo, the child. And then at the back, this one. Okay. So now we are done with the photo. Let's move to other additional supporting documents. Basically, that is the document that you will see in the document checklist, and then you have to open the document checklist and then see which one that you will need to upload it in. Okay. The checklist, as we can see in here, but we will look into that later in detail. All right, that is the form IMM 5286. Okay. And then let's go back to that additional supporting document. When you open that, you can see, for example, from the very first one to the very end one, you can see in here travel documents and passport. You can click in here, and then after that, you can upload the passport of applicant. Okay, do the same thing with Laura Smith and Peter Smith. Okay, Laura. And now Peter. Okay, so basically in the additional supporting document, you will see that in the document checklist. All right, because they are husband and wife, so you will need to provide the marriage certificate as well. So in here you can see marriage certificate, and then you upload it, marriage certificate. Okay, and in here it show up with the file size exceeds the maximum of 4 megabytes, so you will need to delete it and then resize the size. Okay, for the marriage certificate. Okay, and because Peter is the son of John Smith, so we will need to upload that birth certificate as well. Okay, children's birth certificate. In here we can upload Peter's birth certificate. Okay, and also the very important part in here is you will need to provide the IRCC with your status here in Canada. Okay, status, proof of status. Okay, it's because you are convention refugee and you are protected person already, so you will need to upload it in here. That is a requirement. Smith John's notice of decision. Okay, uploaded already. Okay, and then let's go up here again. If you have the birth certificate, your own birth certificate, then you can put it down here. John Smith birth certificate. Okay, and please be aware that if your certificate or any other document that is not written in English or in French, then you will need to have that document translated into either English or French. Okay? And if you have any other information that you want the IRCC know about you and your family, then you can put down a letter of explanations and then you put in here, like for example, letter of explanation here, and then you upload in here. Okay, it is not a requirement, okay, but if you have, then you can put it in here, or maybe you can select the other and then you upload the note in here so that the IRCC knows more, like you get attention from IRCC. All right, it is not a requirement, however it is good if you have that letter of explanation. All right, so now let's move to the very important part, that is fee payment. In here you will need to provide a copy of your payment receipt and then you upload it in here. Okay, I have a video regarding to how to pay IRCC fees, and I will put that link into the description below, and then please check it out later. All right, however, in here we can click in pay your fees, and then down here you can see number 2, pay your fees, and then you select your application type, that is permanent residence. And then, are you paying the right of PR fees for an application that you've already submitted? No, because you haven't submitted anything yet, so no. And then you continue, and in here in that section you select a protected person. All right, and here the fee, your application that is on, and you have one for your wife and you have one for your child, that is Peter Smith. All right, and then for the biometrics, so normally in the past 10 years, if you haven't done the biometrics, then you will need to pay for that. However, normally, if you are a refugee claimant in Canada, the first step that you became Canadians protected persons or refugee convention refugee. Okay, so you should do the biometrics already. But in case that you haven't done so, then you will need to click in here. The biometric per individual is $85, and for the family of 2 and above, that will be $170. Okay, but in this case my child was born in 2010, so it means that he is 15 years old already, so this year is 2025. Okay, so he will need to do the biometric as well, because under the rules, if an individual is above 14 years old, then that person needs to do the biometrics. All right, for example, in this case I will do one biometrics for the family, John Smith, Laura Smith, and Peter Smith. All right, so the total will be $170 more. And then I click on the submit, and then in here, so you can see here the total fees is $1,615. All right, and then you log in and pay. Okay, I have a video regarding to how to create an online account for payment in here already by clicking in register. I will put that link into the description below. And then now let's go back to that portal. Okay, let's assume that we have the fee payment receipt here already, and then I upload in here. Okay, that's it. Okay, ready to submit. And the next one is declaration. That is a requirement. Okay, so all you need to do is click on the start in here, so that you can declare and consent that everything here is correct, true, and complete. All right, but we will go to that part later on. All right, and then when everything is completed and provided in here, then you can hit on the submit your application. So that's it for today, guys, and in the next series of videos I will go over of those forms, and then we can work from there. All right, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye bye.